Live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Hello, everyone. This is Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler. Thanks for joining us. And don't forget to download the Fox 12 Oregon apps on whatever platform you are on. You can grab those. That way you can watch these segments for Fox 12 Now and everything else that we do here at the station. And for this show, if it's your first time tuning in, we get to have a little bit longer form, more of a longer form segment, longer form interviews, conversations, and things like that. And that is what we are talking about today, because today, if you're watching live, the lineup for the Project Pabst Concert Festival taking place on the waterfront was announced. This is a highly anticipated thing. Now, if you know Project Pabst, for many years it was going on here. I think 2014 is when they originally started. They did several years, 2 days, multiple bands playing on both of those days. Took a little bit of a break for a few years, as many things did, and then returned last year. Now back again this year, and we have the lineup for you. I spoke to a concert organizer, Matt Slessler, about that and just about who the bands are, but also learning a little bit more about what the festival is going to entail this year, some of the things they have, because it's not just music. There's a lot more that goes on, and we talked to Matt all about it. All right, well, Matt, here we are, year two of the rebirth, the reboot of Project Pabst, and the thing everybody's been waiting for, finding out who is going to be playing at this year's festival.
Absolutely. We're so excited about it. It's nice to see your face again. This is becoming an annual thing, being able to chat with you. And yeah, we're excited about the lineup this year. And I know you guys are going to talk about it, but the cool part is, year one coming back after the hiatus, we had a little bit less lead time, but literally after the festival ended last year, it was such a success for us. The people who helped make these decisions right away, literally that night said, we're doing this again, let's run it back. So we started calling bands and agents literally the day after the festival last year. So we're excited about the lineup. It was we locked it in a little bit ago, and we're couldn't be more proud of how this lineup went.
That is pretty amazing. So that night of, and I will say I attended last year, there was so many things going on and little facets and the bar setups and all that stuff that you had going on. But that night, you're just like, yep, let's do it again.
Yeah, I was like, let's do it again. And I was like, I'm going to take this night to enjoy it. And then we're going to wake up tomorrow morning and let everybody know that we're back on and get on the road. Because, a lot of these things book out, a year in advance. And so, and I can be a little bit hyper about that stuff. So I started sending emails and calls out right away saying, let's get this going.
Well, let's talk about it. Who do we have on the lineup for this year for Project Pabst?
Yeah, we're excited. Our headliners, Saturday, our headliner is Iggy Pop. Sunday, our headliner is Death Cab for Cutie. And we can start on Saturday. In the past, we've wanted to, kind of do this mix and match and kind of do this quilt. And we really thought one of the things we want to do this year is almost have a theme, have people come out and just go, we're going to come out here. And we know with inflation, the way things are, first of all, we dropped the price tag by $20 on the ticket. Just get that in there. And we can talk about that in a bit, but we really wanted people to come out and know that if they like this kind of music, there's going to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bands that are all kind of that same genre that they can see. So, when you look at Saturday, you look at bands like, Iggy Pop, Devo, The Damned, The Chats, Portland Legends, the Exploding Hearts. When you start looking at those bands, we really wanted to curate a day. And the way that when we originally talked about booking it, I said, I want this to look like a Portland dive bar jukebox from 2001, 2002, where, every time you went into these great dive bars in Portland, the Basement Pub, Billy Ray's Dive, whichever, you walk in there and there's an Iggy Pop CD, there's a Devo CD, there's a CD by The Damned, and we really wanted to kind of capture that essence. So that was kind of the inspiration for day one. And then as you moved into day two, we kind of did the same bit with that, but we're like, let's make it look more like an indie jukebox, maybe on Touch Tunes, 2008, 2010, so we have Death Cab for Cutie, Japanese Breakfast, Built to Spill, Cap and Jazz. So we really wanted to kind of have these 2 days that if you were a fan of Iggy Pop and Devo, you were going to have a great day from the moment you walked through the door. Every band was going to probably hit what you're into.
I love it. So curating it from that, and I love that aspect too, 2001 jukebox. I know that era of Portland going into the dive bars.
Exactly.
And what that means. And same thing with the further down the line too. So So these are the bands that are going to be playing. Some of them anyway. I'm sure there's even more that'll come
Yeah,
out
absolutely.
later
Yeah.
on. But congratulations, number one. That's a hell of a lineup for both of those shows.
Thanks. We're excited. Look, we started this in 2014, and they all kind of become your babies, right? You never like to say this or that, but I will tell you that when we stepped back and took a look at this lineup, we were pretty blown away. And what was funny is we started looking at festival lineups across the country, and we start, you read message boards of why can't you get this? And then of course, you watch Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary this past weekend, and one of the most iconic musical acts of all time, their performance by Devo on that show doing Satisfaction. So we think that we're catching everything at a really good time where people are going to go, oh, this is right up the alley of what we want to do. We're really, really excited about the lineup.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is going to be a lineup that everybody, as they're finding out about this, is absolutely going to be into, and even two different themes. So it's like, hey, if you prefer one or the other, great, you have that, or go to both and all of it.
Absolutely.
And one of the other things too, I brought it up just for a minute there, but all the other stuff that you have going on, the intricacies of the festival, because it's not just really like just going to a concert, which I mean that in its own right would be great, but you have so many other things that are happening too.
Yeah, one of the things that we always try to do is provide an experience. And like, no matter how much you're into the music, we also want to provide an area where it's like, I've just watched 5 bands in a row. I need to. So, I mean, first and foremost, from the start when we did this, we really wanted to, be the opposite of a lot of the festivals we went to. That's why we started Project Pabst, is they were kind of expensive. The beer was expensive. We were going, well, wait a minute, why we want to see these bands. So, we keep the beer, like a 60-ounce can of Pabst is going to be $5. You cannot find a music festival anywhere in the country where you can get a $5 beer, and so we wanted to have, inexpensive food, all of it local from Portland. We do all, Portland food carts on the food. And then, the experiences. Obviously, we have what we're, probably most well known for is the 28-foot unicorn that we have in the middle of the grounds. But we had art installations, we have local purveyors of different kinds of, local shops, whether it's comic books or record stores. And then kind of our piece de la resistance, if you will, and we're going to make it bigger this year, is we created our own dive bar on site. It's air conditioned. This will be at the end of July. And you walk into this space that literally looks like one of our great dive bars in Portland. And it kind of takes you away for a little bit. It gives you a little chance to relax, have a beer in the air conditioning. And we're actually going to make that space. It went over so big last year. We're going to make that space bigger. But that's what we found is we know that we're having 9 bands in a day, starts at 1, ends at 10. That's a big commitment for people. So what we want to do is provide a space where, they're going to get out there, have a beer and be screaming their lungs off for the Damned or for Iggy Pop or whatever. But we also wanted to give them a chance to be able to take a load off, have a beer, sit in some air conditioning, and then also see a little bit of what we hope is a little taste of Portland all over the festival site.
Yeah, because I did that same thing last year. I went in there. I was like, okay, I'm good. I need a break. Gonna go sit in the air conditioning, have a beer.
Yeah.
And that's part of it too. What is it, do you think, about this, I guess, aesthetic or theme, that Project Pabst really brings, where it does, you mentioned it before, brings out the dive bar kind of a idea for Portland, having that there, or this theme thing from a jukebox from 2008. What is it about that do you think really is bringing people in so much and really enjoying it?
Well, I think part of it is just the prices, right? So we're going to go on sale. I guess as we're talking about this, the pre-sale. And by the way, I don't even mind telling everybody, if you are listening to this, if you use the pre-sale unicorn, the word unicorn, you can get in and get a ticket for 1 day for $85. That's like you're seeing Iggy Pop, Devo, the Damned. You're seeing 9 bands for $85. So, wow. Along with the beer price, everything else, I think the one thing that first people appreciate, and it's kind of been our ethos from the start, is we didn't want to gouge people. We wanted everybody to come in and join. So we wanted to provide a space that just felt like a community. And when you start charging so much for things, people start thinking about the cost more than they do just going with their friends and having a good time. So that was kind of the first approach that we wanted to have to it. We don't have a VIP area because once again, we feel everybody's equal. You know, we want to make sure that it's not just about, hey, if you have an extra couple $100, you can be in this special spot. We didn't want that. So we treat everybody, you know, like we're right there with them. I always say I've been with Pabst 20 years, right? And I always say, I like to sit on the same side of the bar as our consumers. And I want to stand arm in arm with them as we're watching some of our favorite bands play, you know. And so I think that's I hope that is conveyed in the way we present the festival. We hope that it doesn't just look like another cookie cutter festival where you're watching your money and you're kind of. We want to provide an atmosphere where everybody feels a little bit chill and that it's just a great all around day.
Yeah, kind of that laid back vibe, but also, plenty of things there to eat, to drink, to hang out, to do, and then just watch some music.
The combination of like you're sitting at a neighborhood bar with your good friends, or you're sitting in your backyard, or you're sitting down at the park and with your friends, and it's just like I said, there's a time in that day where everybody's going to want to get up and see the band that they like and be right up front and sing as loud as they want. And then there's also going to be a time where they're going to want to see some people that they haven't seen for a while, kick back, hear the music, and have a beer and just enjoy the great people watching that only Portland, Oregon can provide.
What's the biggest thing you learned from last year, bringing it back to this year?
It's a good question. I mean, I think that here's the thing is, look, when we first did this, Portland in 2014, when we started, Portland was on the cultural map for everybody in the world, right? Everybody's pointing towards Portland. You could just say, hey, we're doing this thing in Portland, everybody come. I think with, the obvious growing pains that this city that I love so much, that I live in, had for, from 2020, 2023, I think that it was tough the first year to kind of convince people to come down at first. But I think once people came down there, come into Portland from maybe another city, they hear these things. And we were really aware of that we wanted to be a brand that celebrated Portland again. And so, doing that again this year, we lower the ticket prices because we still think there might be some people out there who are like, look, I'll take a chance at $85. I'll take a chance at $90. Not sure I'm going to take a chance at, $110, which is honestly what we thought was, the going rate, actually cheaper than the going rate. But, people spoke and said, if you're going to do that kind of lineup where, you're kind of mixing and matching, doing this kind of quirky, the way that we approach the lineup, we saw that they might not be willing to take a chance when it gets into 3 digits on the card. But I think this year, having a more like a lineup that speaks to one genre each day, I think, and then lowering the ticket prices, I think that we'll get people to go, oh yeah, this is a great city. Let's go down and do it. Along with, we need to make that dive bar as big as possible because people really loved hanging out in there.
Oh yeah, and especially in July, it can get a little bit hot sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was the thing, and honestly, we really wanted to read and look. I mean, obviously people can get online and say some things, and it was only 1 or 2 comments that were like, well, I'm not sure if I want to come down at, but at that price. But we really took that to heart and said, we really want to encourage people to come to the city of Portland, come down to Waterfront Park and just see. I'm lucky. I get to travel all over the country, and there's still a little bit of a stigma about, hey, what's it like out in Portland? I'll be in Chicago or Milwaukee or, Dallas, Texas, wherever. And I just give them my card. I say, call me. Let's go walk down Division Street. Let's go hang out in Alberta. Let's go hang out on Mississippi Ave. You're going to see this city is so great. You're going to want to come back again and again and again. And I really do feel right now the city's back to being underrated again. I think people, when they come here, it blows them away. We're 70 miles from the ocean. We're 60 miles from the mountain. We have some of the best restaurants and bars in the world, and the people here are nice. So, yeah. We want to encourage people to come to the city of Portland.
I love it. Well, this is a perfect opportunity to bring people in too, to come see these shows for Project Pabst, go around, stay a night in the city, spend some money, have a good time at the festival, all that. So things like this are imperative for
I appreciate it. Well, and I hope, I know that you and I do this every year, but I hope we established after last year that every year we have to see each other and have a Pabst Blue Ribbon on site, just like we did last year. So I hope that we can stick to that too.
That needs to be tradition every year, and that will happen. All right, so there we go. Matt Slessler talking about Project Pabst returning there to the waterfront. So those dates are July 26th, 27th, and you can pick up some tickets there now if you're watching live. That pre-sale code was Unicorn. So good tip right there. All right, and thanks everybody for joining us again. This is Fox 12 Now. We cover a wide range of topics here on the show. If you're a frequent watcher of what we do, thank you for doing so. Don't forget, you can check out all of our segments on the Fox 12 Oregon apps. That's a great way. There's a Fox 12 Now tab. Just click that. You can scroll through, see all the different things that we cover. Everything across the board is potential for a topic here on Fox 12 Now. So feel free to send me an email, fox12now@kptv.com. So fox12now@kptv.com. And thanks for joining us. If ever there's breaking news between 1 p.m. and 4 p.m., this is also where we'll be. So we'll be bringing that to you there as well. But that's it for right now. Thanks for joining us. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12.